There are several prerequisites prior to installing our Veeam backup and replication software. To start with, we can install Veeam on virtual machines on premises. And that would include VMware, vSphere, Hyper-V, Nutanix, Red Hat VMs. All of these different types of virtual machines, we can install Veeam onto those. Now, you can also do the same thing with cloud virtual machines using those same operating systems. And you can do this at Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure and even the Google Cloud as well. When it comes to NAS storage, where you can do a NAS share, then you can use Microsoft Windows, Linux managed servers, enterprise NAS systems such as NetApp, Lenovo ThinkSystem DM series, Dell NFS file shares, and SMB file shares. And if you'd like to install Veeam onto a physical computer, you can do that, where you can also back up computers that are Windows, Linux, or Mac operating systems. You can use agents installed on each of those computers or servers in order to run the backup. An agent is simply just a small program that allows a trust to be created between the server that's going to be backed up and the Veeam server. Next, I'm going to look at the physical requirements. We can use either a CPU x86, which is just a 32-bit processor, or a 64-bit processor. You need to have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now, this is the minimum amount. It's a good idea to have much more than this. I personally like to use around 32 gigabytes. I find that any less than that can definitely cause a slowdown. And if you're doing this on a virtual machine, you can either use dynamic RAM or regular full RAM installation. Either one of those will work fine. And as far as storage goes, you just need 2 gigabytes on the system drive, which you're going to need to extract all the different components from the package during the setup. It doesn't use a lot of storage on the server. Most of the storage is going to be the backup of all the different servers that you're doing, which you can do on the C drive if you'd like, but that could slow things down. It's much better to do this on a separate drive, NAS share, or even cloud storage. And you want to have at least 1 gigabit or faster network connection for Veeam backup and replication servers, so that way you can back those all up in a timely fashion. Now, you can also do 10 gigabits or even 40 gigabits, whatever it is that you have, you can go ahead and use, but 1 gigabit would be the minimum recommendation. Now, if you're following along, it's a good time to go to the Veeam.com website, where we can download the Veeam version 12 application along with the trial key. I'm logging into the domain because I have Active Directory, but if you don't have Active Directory, you could just go ahead and do this as a standalone installation, logged in locally as the local administrator on the server. I'm on a Windows 2022 server, and I'm going to open up a web browser. I'm at Veeam.com, and your page might look slightly different depending on which operating system and browser you're opening it from, but they'll all have this option here at the top right for signing in. If you haven't already created an account yet, just go ahead and click on the Create Veeam Account, walk through all the different steps, and at some point you're going to get an email with a code for multi-factor authentication, and you'll go ahead and type that in, and then you'll be able to log in. I've gone through those steps and logged in, and I'm going to click on Downloads at the top. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit to where it says Veeam Backup and Replication, Veeam Recovery Orchestrator, and I'll click Download Trial. Next, you'll go ahead and put in your email and all the other information, and then you can click on Download. Once again, you'll get prompted for multi-factor authentication, and then you can scroll down to where it says Veeam Data Platform Advanced Edition, and then Veeam Backup and Replication. It also includes Veeam 1 for that monitoring service. Here you can click on Download and Request Trial Key. Now, when you click on Request Trial Key, it will email you a file that you'll use when you go to do the installation. And then the download is going to be around 10 gigabytes. So you click on the download and click Accept. Now, sometimes you're going to get the option to have an email sent to you with a link rather than downloading directly. And that's because sometimes certain servers get overwhelmed and they can use this option in order to load balance the different servers. So you would simply click on the link that they send you in the email and just go ahead and download. Once the download is complete, it's going to be an ISO file, which means it's going to allow you to mount the ISO file as a drive letter, and then you can double click on that and then run the setup. Veeam doesn't have a lot of requirements for installing the product. As long as you have the hardware and Windows operating system ready, you can install the Veeam software.